Good morning, all of you. In today's live session, we shall continue lesson number 6, Refraction of Light from Science and Technology Part 1. Children, we have already studied in the first live session refraction of light. We have defined it. What is refraction of light? Light changes its direction when going from one transparent medium to other. This is called as the refraction of light. We have also studied about the laws of refraction, and we have also defined refractive index. What is refractive index? Measure of bending of ray of light when it passes from one medium into another is called as the refractive index. We have also seen the behavior of light in the different media. When the light rays passes from the rarer medium to the denser medium, it bends towards the normal. When a light ray passes from the denser medium to the rarer medium, it bends away from the normal. When a light ray is incident normally at the boundary between the two media, it does not change its direction and hence does not get refracted. Children, these 3 points you have to remember very well. Got it? This is the behavior of light when it passes from one media to the other media. Now, in today's live session, children, we are going to start with a new topic, that is the partial reflection and the total internal reflection. But in today's session, we are going to study partial reflection and total internal reflection. Now, what is reflection? When light rays enters a rarer medium, it gets partially reflected. That is, the part of light gets reflected and comes back into the denser medium as per the law of reflection. And this is called as the partial reflection. Children, look at this figure or look at this diagram. You will see over here, this is the source of light, correct? Water is the denser medium and air over here is the rarer medium, correct? So you will see over here the light enters the rarer medium. See over here, this is the source of light, water is denser, this is air over here, and you will see that this ray of light, not all the rays will get reflected, some of the rays also turn back. Got it? See over here, this at the point of incidence, the light rays, they turn back according to the law of reflection, and this is called as the partial reflection. I will repeat this again, children. What happens? We have two medium over here. Air, which is the rarer medium, water, which is the denser medium, correct? This is the source of light. There will be many rays which will be emitted by the source of light, correct? Consider any one. We consider this ray over here. This ray is called as the incident ray. This incident ray is traveling from the denser medium to the rarer medium. That is, it is entering the rarer medium, correct? So what happens over here? of the light will get refracted back. It will get refracted because it is traveling from the denser medium to the rarer medium according to the law of refraction. But at the same time, some of the rays, they turn back and come into the denser medium as per the law of reflection. And this is called as a partial reflection. This is the incident ray. You will see over here, children, this ray, which is, I am drawing with the blue color. Okay, here you cannot see the blue color, so I'll change the color. See over here, this blue color indicates the incident ray, correct? And you will see this ray turns back. This is the reflected ray. So this is called as a partial reflection. Refraction also takes place over here and reflection also takes place over here. Some of the rays get reflected back. They turn back into the denser medium as per the law of reflection. Got it? This is called as the partial reflection. Now we'll see the next topic, or we'll study the next topic, that is total reflection. Now for that, children, what we are going to do, we are going to consider the different rays. So what we'll do first, we'll consider the first light ray. First of all, you understand this. This is water, denser medium, air, rarer medium, correct? And this is the source of light. Now consider the light rays which is normally incident at the boundary between the two media. See over here, this is the first ray that we are going to consider. You will see that it is normally, this ray is incident normally at the boundary between the two media. Got it? So what happens? It does not change its direction and hence does not get refracted. But over here, at the same time, you will see over here, this is the incident ray. This is the incident ray over here. This ray, children, show partial reflection. Will show partial reflection over here. This ray will show the partial reflection. This ray will turn back. So over here, this incident ray, which is incident normally at the boundary between the two media, it moves or it turns back, and this over here, it will show partial reflection. This ray is showing the partial reflection, and you see that the ray will get transmitted from the denser medium to the rarer medium without any change in the path of the light, because it is incident normally to the surface, or it is at the incident normally between the boundary between the two surfaces. Got it? Here it is the point of incidence over here. Okay, now over here, children, we will consider the next ray. See, this is your first ray. We'll consider as the first ray. This is only for understanding, children. I will make a small table over here. In this table, here we'll write the angle of incidence. Here we'll write the angle of reflection. And in the third column, we'll write angle of refraction. Angle of refraction. Got it? Now for this incident ray, this is the source of light. This is the incident ray. For us, we are going to consider this as the first incident ray. Got it? And this incident ray forms an angle of incidence with this normal. This is the normal. Got it? So this angle over here is 50 degrees. Got it? Now we know that the light, when it travels from the denser to the rarer medium, it moves away from the normal. So at this point of incidence over here, you will see this ray will move away from the normal. This is the normal over here. It will move away from the normal. But it, and at the same time, children, some of the light will get partially reflected also. So this is the partial reflection that you see. So over here, according to the law of reflection, angle of incident is 50 degrees, angle of reflection also is 50 degrees, and angle of refraction will increase. Got it? The angle of incidence increases over here. Got it? So we will assume this angle of refraction, it increases by 15 degrees. Got it? We are going to assume it. It is increased by 15 degrees. So here we get the answer as 65. These numbers or these values we are taking just for sake of understanding. Got it? What we have done, we have considered the first incident ray. Got it? The angle of incident ray over here we have assumed as 50 degrees. Now we know that the light ray travels from the denser to the rarer medium. It moves away from the normal. Angle of refraction over here will be greater than angle of incidence. See this angle, this is the angle of refraction. This angle will be greater than the angle of incidence over here. Angle of incidence is 50. It is going to, angle of refraction is going to increase. What we have assumed, let us assume it that it is going to increase by 15 degrees. So in 50, I have added 15 degrees, which I get the answer as 65 degrees. But now let us consider the second ray. This is our second incident ray. Got it? Now let the angle between this normal and this incident be, say, you can assume it as 65. This is the 65 degrees. Angle of incident over here is 65 degrees. Again, children, you know that we have studied the Snell's law. What is Snell's law? Ratio of sin I upon sin R is constant. That means if you increase angle of incidence, angle of refraction is also going to increase. Correct? So over here, you will see this angle of refraction will also increase according to the Snell's law. So this 65 over here will become 80 degrees. Angle of refraction will be 80 degrees. Again over here, children, at the same time, partial reflection also takes place. And this over here, it follows the law of reflection. So this angle of reflection will be 65 only. Got it? Now, we'll consider the third ray, children. This is your third ray. Got it? Now, this third ray, let us assume that this angle which is formed by the incident ray and the normal over here, let us assume it as 75 degrees. Correct? Over here, you will see again the angle of refraction is going to increase according to the Snell's law. And we have what we have done, we are going to increase by 15 degrees. So this will become 90 degrees. Angle of refraction over here becomes 90 degrees. And obviously the angle, again over here, the reflection will take place. So 75 degrees will be the angle of reflection over here. Got it? Now children, listen here. You will see that when the angle of refraction over here, you get it 90. See, this ray is over here 90 degrees. The angle between this normal and this refracted ray is 90 degrees. You will see I, that is value of I, when R is equal to 90 degrees. R means angle of refraction is 90 degree, is called as the critical angle. Whichever angle you get over here, when the angle of refraction is 90 degrees, it will be called as the critical angle. What it will be called? It will be called as critical angle. Got it? IC. It is denoted by the letter IC. Critical angle. Critical angle. Got it? So over here you will see for a particular value of I, the angle of refraction becomes 90 degrees and that angle will be called as a critical angle. Got it? So in this case, we have considered this example now children. In this table, where we are getting angle of refraction as 90 here. Got it? In the third, first, second and third ray, when we have assumed that angle of incident is 75, angle of refraction becomes 90 degrees. This 75 over here will be a critical angle. 75 degrees will be a critical angle. Got it children? So now further, if you increase, what you are going to do? Now consider the fourth ray children. What we are going to do? See over here, we are going to increase the angle of incidence. Again, this is the normal and this is the angle which is formed between the incident ray and the normal. That is, we are going to increase it beyond the critical angle. So what I am going to take this angle 85 degrees. Got it? I am going to increase the value of angle of incident more. It will be greater than the critical angle. So I have taken it as 85. Angle of reflection will always be 85. Now children, you will see the ray here was already, the refracted ray was already over here at the surface. The angle of refraction will further increase. What we have assumed the refraction, how much it is going to increase by how much degree? That it will increase by 50 degrees. Correct na? 15 degrees. So it becomes 100 degrees over here. Now this ray, you will see that at this point, that is point of incident, all the rays will turn into the denser medium. It will turn into the denser medium. It will not get refracted in the air. It will turn into the denser medium. And this is called as the total internal reflection. What it is called? It is called as total internal reflection. I will repeat again children what we do. We increase the angle of incident beyond the critical angle. And again over here, Snell's law will be followed. That is sine I upon sine R is constant. That means if you increase angle of incident, angle of refraction is also going to increase. Here it was 90. Now it will increase further. And now instead of this rays going into the air, it is going to turn back into the denser medium. This is called as the total internal reflection. See over here, I will repeat whatever I have explained you. For a particular value of I, the value of R becomes 90 degrees. This value of I is called as critical angle. This angle over here will be called as critical angle. For angles of incidence larger than the critical angle, the angle of refraction is larger than 90 degrees. See over here. In this case, this angle I is greater than the critical angle. Such rays return to the denser medium. Thus, all the light gets reflected back into the denser medium and this is called as the total internal reflection. Now, from this children, you can also find out 1 and 2. That is, refractive index of medium 1 with respect to medium 2 is sine I upon sine R, correct? Now, for the total internal reflection, when we are talking about the total internal reflection, children, you will see that for total internal reflection, I is the critical angle, correct? So, and sine I upon sine 90 degrees. As you know, children, sine 90 degrees is equal to sine 90 degrees is equal to 1. So 1 and 2 is equal to sine I. In your geometry, children, you have already studied value of sine 90 is 1. We have just substituted the value over here 90. So here you are in the denominator, which is nothing but 1 and 2 is equal to sine I. Got it? Total internal reflection. This is called as total internal children. I hope this topic is clearly understood by you. Now, we are going to study some examples of refraction in. So, which are that? We'll see mirage is the first example. Twinkling stars, before the sunrise, that is called as advanced sunrise, and seeing the sun after the sunset, that is the delayed sunset. Got it? We are going to first study mirage detail. What do you mean by mirage? Students, have you ever seen a mirage, which is an illusion of water on a hot road or desert? Let us first define it. So, light rays coming from a distant object appear to be coming from the image of the object inside the ground as shown in the figure. This is called as the mirage. Now, let us understand the reason behind the occurrence of mirage. Now, for children, mirage to occur, there has to be total internal reflection, correct? We have just now studied total internal reflection, and for total internal reflection, there are two conditions that need to be fulfilled, which are that light should travel from denser medium to the rarer medium, correct? And light should hit an angle greater than the critical angle. What is, children? Remember, for a mirage to occur, there has to be total internal reflection. And for the total internal reflection, there has to be two conditions to be fulfilled, which are that the light should travel from the denser medium to the rarer medium, and light should hit at an angle greater than the critical angle. Okay. Now let us try to understand how the mirage takes place, or what is the reason behind it. Now during the daytime, children, you will see that the land becomes hot. Because of that, the air molecules, see, this is the desert. Over here, air is there, correct? This sand will become hot. So the air molecules up the warm land will become warm, correct? And as we are going up, this is the first, second layer. This is only for your understanding, children. Huh? You will see that as we are going up, the layer will become cooler and cooler. Got it? The layer which is at the bottom, that is this layer, will be warmer. As you go up, it gradually keeps on cooling. Correct? It will become cooler, cooler and cooler. So which one will be the coolest layer? Obviously this one. This layer will be the coolest layer. This will be the warmest layer, which is near to the surface of the sand. Got it? Now, the light from the sun hits the object. See, this is the light incident light which is hitting an object. Over here, the object is the tree. Got it? The object over here is a tree. After hitting the object, the light gets reflect. Correct? And it enters the first layer, children. See, this is the first layer. Correct? Now, this first layer, you will see that is a denser layer. Correct? The first layer is the denser layer. As the light is going from the denser medium to the rarer medium, children, what will, how we have studied the behavior of light in from when it travels from the denser medium to the rarer medium, it will be bending away from the normal. This is black color dotted line you see over here is normal. It moves away from the normal. Got it? So at each layer, the light is bending. See, this is denser, this is rarer. Again, this will be as compared to this layer will be denser. So every time you will see that the light is bending. So at each layer, light is bending away from the normal, but one point you will notice that the light will hit an angle greater than the critical angle. This angle will keep on increasing, children. Just now we have studied total internal reflection, correct? So this angle will be greater than the critical angle. Got it? So what happens over here? At this point, the light, instead of undergoing reflection, the light, instead of undergoing refraction, it will undergo total internal reflection. It will undergo total internal reflection and reach the eye of the observer. Correct? See over here, this ray is moving to the observer. Okay, now once it enters the eye of human being, human eye always perceive that light travels in straight line. Now the reflection of tree can be seen at the bottom. Similarly, other reflection of sky also is seen, and that is how you can see the mirage that is formed. Children, I hope you have followed this. You will see over here the occurs because of the reflection, total and internal reflection. The conditions that are required for the total internal reflection to take place is, the first one is the light has to travel from medium to the rarer medium, and light has to hit an angle greater than the critical angle, and then only the total internal reflection will take place. Now, in the next slide, we are going to study the atmospheric refraction. One more example we'll study about the atmospheric refraction, that is twinkling of the stars. Children, night sky is very beautiful. We have seen that during the night time you can see the stars twinkling in the sky. It consists of different objects. Some of them are stars while some others are planets. Looking at the night sky, can you figure out if the object are stars or planet? Yes, children. You have been learning this right from your childhood. The object that twinkle are called as stars, and the object that do not twinkle are called as planet. So we are going to discuss why do the stars twinkle, twinkling of the stars. What is the basic reason behind the why do the stars twinkle? The stars twinkle because of the atmospheric refraction. So let us study this. Now you will see over here, children. We live on the planet Earth, correct? And our planet is surrounded by the atmosphere. What is atmosphere? It is nothing but the layer of the air. The atmosphere of the Earth consists of air. See over here, you can see in the diagram the layers of air. The particles of the air are closely placed at the surface of the earth. See over here, the layer of the earth which is near to the surface of the earth. You will see the particles are very closely placed, and as going above, you will see the particles are spaced away from each other. The distance between them increases. Got it? So the particles of the air are closely spaced at the surface of the earth than this at the higher layers. That means the density of air is highest at the surface. So over here, where the particles are very closely packed, over here the density of air is highest, and while we are going up the density decreases, while it goes on decreases towards the top. As we are moving here in this direction, the density is going to decrease. Now let us talk about the star. A star have its own light. Since they are at far distance from the earth, therefore they look as the point size, and so they are treated as point source of light. The light coming from the star, that is the starlight, when enters the earth atmosphere layer by layer, it experiences increasing density and bends towards the normal at the boundaries between the layers. You will see over here, this is a star, children. See, it is entering over in the atmosphere. When it is entering in the atmosphere, you will see that this ray will be bending towards the normal, because it is traveling here. The density here, the density is more, here density is less, so it will be bending towards the normal at the boundary between the two layers. When it comes to us, we observe the star slightly higher than its actual position. Got it? So when the light rays reaches our eye, we will see the star at a higher position than its actual position. Now you know that air is fluid, it has the property to flow. So there is continuous and random changes in the every layer of atmosphere. Continuously this air is moving. It has the property of it will flow. So these changes result in the random change in the refractive indices here. So if refractive index is of these layers over here, you will see is not steady. But the refractive index of this layer is steady. If the refractive index of these layers do not remain steady, how the apparent position of the star will remain steady? Apparent position changes slightly, but it changes randomly. That is why you can see that the stars twinkle. Similarly, because of the random changes in the refractive indices, the brightness of the star also appears to be changing. The resulting effect of changing apparent position and changing brightness causes the star to appear twinkling. Got it? So, this is the example of refraction of light that takes place. Twinkling of the stars. Twinkling of the stars. Now we'll study why planets do not twinkle. Stars, they twinkle. Then why do the planets don't twinkle? This is because the planets are much closer to us as compared to the stars. Got it? They cannot be considered as a point source. They are considered at the extended sources. Large numbers of rays are coming out from the object. Such objects undergo refraction in random manner, but while they nullify the effect. So over here you will see, children, the planets are very far as compared to the stars. They are not that far away. Got it? So they are not considered point source. Large number of rays are coming from such object, and these rays undergo refraction in a manner. But when it is reaching an observer, they nullify each other's effects. That means neither the position of the planet change nor there is change coming from them. The intensity of this does not change, is constant, so the planet do not twinkle. There is no change in the position also, and there is no change in the brightness of the light also. Because of that, the planets, you will see that they do not twinkle. See over here, you will see this is planets are extended sources. So many rays of light are coming from them because they are close to us. Stars are very far from us. So this is the reason behind the planet not twinkling. That is why the planet not twinkle. Children, in today's live session, we have studied about very important topic, that is partial reflection and total internal reflection. Correct? And we have studied about the example of refractions that we find in the nature. That is, first one is mirage, second one is the twinkling of the stars, and I've explained you why the planets do not twinkle. So in the next live session, children, we will continue this lesson. But it in the next live session, we'll continue this lesson. In today's live session, children, whatever we have studied, please read it from your textbook. Got it? Read it from your textbook.